Happy Wednesday. We got an awesome day today. We have two Leah land investors. We're going to go through some like market selection stuff and all that and pull some markets, pick them, and then kind of go over like what we do with like low Genie and how we pick a good, fast moving market and zip code. Probably go over some pricing and all that. So I'm going to share this too real quick. You guys, I'm sure you've seen it before, but Leah, if you want to join Leah, you go to landinvestor.co. Right now, Sumner's got a couple different courses. So we got the 0 to Hero 90-day program right here. This thing is on sale right now, 80% off. Boom, right there. Click that. And in here, this will give you the full breakdown of how we turn 10K into 240. I'm the guy that did that, so it's completely true. It actually does happen. You'll see me right here, my dumb face right here when that video loads, and it's basically me breaking down and walking a property that we're actually bought or disposing. So you can hop in here. Everything's all right there. It's a 0 to Hero. Then we have Leah, which is the group coaching, which Charity and Akila are in. And then we have the Leah Blueprint, which is like your basic land business. This is going to be coming soon. This is going to be awesome when we launch it. So I want to bring them up. Let's get them over here. Let's see. We got comments. Hey, Kay. What days? Hey, Kay. I go live every Wednesday around like 2:30. That's my typical live. So, cool. So, hey, how we doing?
Hey.
Hello. Good.
So tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on. What made you guys get into land and where your business is at right now and where you're looking to go.
I guess I'll go. I'm Akila. I've been in real estate for about 6.5 years. I'm currently in land. I've been in land for a little bit over a year now. My bread and butter currently is infill lots. That is my focus. I've been doing that for a while now, well, for a year. What was your other question? Did I ask all your questions? Answer all your questions?
Yeah, just like asking what you're doing now, what all that stuff.
So yeah, I'm focusing on infill, and today I'm hoping to learn how to find more markets on land insights and maybe send out mailers within my market.
Okay, and what's your market? Where do you live?
I live in Georgia, but I market to Florida.
Okay, gotcha.
Florida.
Okay. Now, you saw the thing with Georgia, right? With Georgia, how we're not like when you mail it, you have to have a disclaimer on there.
I did see that. Yes.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Are you an agent in Georgia?
I am licensed. Yes.
Ooh, good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome to know. Yeah, that's actually a pretty big thing. So like now with Georgia, this is for wholesaling in general too. You can't market to any homeowners, landowners, or anything like that unless you have a disclaimer on the front of on the front of the letter. So it's actually a pretty big deal. This is the first kind of change they made with marketing for direct mail marketing in the country. So I could see this having like a butterfly effect in a lot of other markets. So it could be good to get on the other side of the curve, especially if you're in Georgia, learning a little bit of the insight with it. So yeah, we'll touch on that. Charity, what about you?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. My name is Charity. I started my real estate business, or I should say in 2018. Started off doing short-term rentals, long-term rentals. Then I came across the podcast talking about land. So I dug a little bit more into that. I came across Sumner's channel. I attended Leah Mastermind last year where I met Akila. And here I am today. My focus would be mid-markets, and I'm starting out here in Michigan.
Nice.
So,
okay, so you guys met at the last mastermind.
Yep.
And now you have a business together, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. I swear having a partner is like the cheat code to this.
Absolutely.
Because you guys could bounce ideas off each other. You could check in, like when one's slow, one's busy, you guys could just take over stuff. It's awesome. Like me and my partner Rob, we love it just because we're able to like, if I'm busy, he just takes over and like handles everything. It's awesome.
I think also JVing with people is very powerful as well.
Yeah.
A lot, you can close a lot of deals that way. So.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. JVing is it's another cheat code for real. Awesome. So So you guys are looking to get into rural rec. Charity, did you say you did real estate before? This is your first kind of like parlay into it.
This is my first time into land, I would say. My background is short-term rentals and long-term rentals. So
Right. I do.
just entering into the land space. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So, are you still doing like short-term stuff or not really anymore?
Not too much anymore. When I was doing it at the time, I was doing it. Well, first I was property managing it, and then I was doing arbitrage. But now I'm
Mhm.
focusing on long-term rentals, and I want to shift and get a little bit more into land. So
Yeah. Yeah. Arbitrage is
yeah.
nice because you can make some money, but it's not nice because you don't build any equity, and it's just
Mhm.
it's a lot of and yeah, it sucks. I've done some of them. It's not fun. You know. Yeah. All right. Cool. So let's do this now. Do you guys have like market focuses? How are you guys picking markets right now?
I picked my market based off my buyers, where my buyers are currently buying, or they're currently
Okay.
building. So,
Okay. Awesome. All right. And what about you, Charity? Have you picked any markets yet, or are you still kind of going through
Uh,
that initial phases?
Still going through that. It'll definitely be through a off-market approach though on my end.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Cool. So, what we'll do today is I'm going to show you guys a couple different ways to pick markets. Right. So we'll go through the old traditional method with just looking up sell-through rates, creating a spreadsheet, all that stuff, and then we'll show Land Insights the two different ways. And then between them two, we'll also go and we'll pick some markets from Land Insights. We'll grab some zip codes, pull some data, and then we'll go over how to price it and all that stuff to make it a little bit easier. Um, so what I'll do now, do you guys have any like kind of spreadsheets you've been working off of for sell-through rates or anything like that yet, or not yet?
no, I don't.
Okay. Charity, did you create anything yet or no?
Nope. Not
Okay.
yet.
All right. So I'll show you a quick little easy one you could kind of throw together, and then what I used to do is just basically I'd take my phone out and I'd have my phone and I'd have like Redfin open and I'd go through the different markets and just go through everything. But I'll show you how to do it. Let me see. Master template. Let's see if we can find one of my old templates. Kind of crazy. Let's see. I don't have it. Okay, so no worries. I'll create a new one. And then I will share my screen. Okay, cool. Let's do this. So, all right, cool. So here we are. So what we could do first is let's create like a super simple spreadsheet. And what we're going to do is we're just going to basically take this and we'll figure out sell-through rates. This is how we used to do it. STRs, so sell-through rates. So what we would do is basically we would take county, spell it right, county. Let's get rid of that. Let's zoom in a little bit. So everybody can see. All right, so county, we go state. We'll do for sale, then sold 1 month, sold 1 month, sold 3M, sold 6M, sold 1 year. So that's your basics. Then you could put like DTP, days to pending, or DOM. This is like days on market. This is like this one's very manual, but this one you kind of look at and like take an average assumption. You don't have to like get exact numbers. I'll show you a little bit of that. And then you could add like other stuff into here. You could say like, oh, this, it's homogeneous. It's not this and that. You could add like little notes, whatever you wanted. So let's just freeze this. We go freeze 1 row. Boom. All right. So what we're going to do is pop over here. I'm going to open up new window. Let's open Redfin. So do you guys have like a general sense of where you kind of want to start, or you don't really know yet, or what?
Um, sure. Lee County.
Lee County. Okay. So that's Florida.
Yes, that is.
Okay, perfect. So okay, Cape Coral. Yes, we've done infill over here,
Mm-hmm.
and over here we actually tried doing some. We've done infill, and we've actually done over here larger parcels and stuff like that. Um, so this Lee County, like I would say here, this is probably going to be a better like zip code approach
Mm-hmm.
because all over here is going to be totally different, and Cape Coral and all that stuff is going to be totally different than everything out here, right?
Right.
Um, the type of
Even
lots
parts
you're
of
getting.
so
What's that?
even some parts of Lehigh for the zip code, it can, can be different. So I do agree. Yes.
Yeah, yes. If you have market insight, like the market, even
Mm-hmm.
better, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I
Um,
know the zip code if you want me. Would you like the zip code?
we could do zips if you want, or you could go county, state, whatever. If you want to do
Okay.
zips, that's perfectly fine too. So, um, county, we could even just do this zip, so we could put in some zips too, so we just know
Mm-hmm.
whatever works for you. Um, the goal with this sheet is to what we used to do is we would build this sheet and then track it. So we would go month to month and
Mm-hmm.
we'd do like all of North Carolina, all of Florida, all of South Carolina, everything like that. So we would do every single county. So like North Carolina, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
I would go here, or Florida, we go Florida county list, and I would just take like this list,
Mm-hmm.
and you could just copy this. I don't know why it's not letting me do that. Whatever. Um, you could copy the whole list of counties.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Okay, that's county and cities. Um, let's see. There we go. I would take this, copy this, and I would go paste values only. Paste. And then I would just go through and then I would just do FL. And then I would go through every single one of these, right? And I would fill out the sell-through rates for the entire county. So like let's say, if we're starting with Lee, we'll go Lee right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go back into here. I'll do Lee County. I'll do for sale. Oops. And I'll start here. Let me go reset all. For sale, we'll go land only, active under contract pending. You could also separate these two and just do like another column for under contract if you want to do like the pending sell through rate as well. And then you would have to choose like a size range. So let's say 5 to 100 or 5 to no max, let's say. And I would just do this. So I see there's 82. So then you pop back over here, you do 82. And then I'll go here. And then I go into this, sold, land. So let's go 1 month. You got 4 in 1 month, 4, 19, 50, 100. 4, 19, 50, 100. 4,
19.
19, 50, 100. And then we'll go, let's see. Let me just insert a couple columns. So STR1M, STR3M, STR6M.
And what does STR stand for?
Sell through rate.
Sell through rate. Okay.
Yeah. So what we're looking at is basically how fast it moves, like how much volume moves. So like how much listed sells through in the 1 month, the 1 year, and all that stuff. So like what we do now is we hit equals and we'll divide 82 divided by 4. So 4 into 82. Actually equals, sorry. 4 into 82. Yeah.
And would you say a good sell through rate is it like maybe 15 to 20%, I heard, or what would you say is a good standard sell through rate?
So it kind of depends on like the market, I'd say. I look for in
Okay.
the 1 month, you really want to see something in like the 15% and above. And
Okay.
then I usually do 15, and then I'll do like 15, 50, 75, and then over 100. So
Okay.
we'll go here divided by this. So we'll just convert these to percentages. Let's see this data format number. Turn this into percentage. Okay. So you can see here, like Lee County as a whole, the 1 month STR is pretty low, right? I'd like to see like 15% on this. And the STR for the 3 months is a little low too. I want to see higher right now. 6 month is about 60%. I usually look for 75%. And the STR right here, I look for over 100%. So what this basically means is that the entire, all like the listings essentially would basically sell within a whole year. So it might take a whole year for the entire market to empty and then refill, right? It's not an exact science. It's just like a rough estimate, whatever. It's just gauging the how fast everything is moving. Um, so you could see here like Lee County versus like another one. If we check Lafayette, let's see what the difference is. So we'll go back to this. Lafayette. County, Florida. Okay. So Lafayette, we could do the same exact thing. Go for sales. We got 82. So 82 again. And then let's go back here. So all filters sold 1 month. So we got 3, 18, 44, 79. 3, 18, 4, 79. So we got 3, 18, 4, 79. We'll just copy this right up. So that's 3%, 21 and a half, 4.8%. Oh, I did that wrong. 318. See, this is the other problem is like when you're doing this manually, you make one mistake, could throw off your like whole sheet. So like putting a 4 instead of a 44, if you don't notice it right away, it could throw your whole sheet off. So you can see like those numbers are a little lower. And as you go, like you'll start seeing trends. You're like, oh wow, this market's moving a lot faster. And sometimes you'll see trends where it's like the 3 month is a lot higher than the 6 month or whatever. I like to look at the 3 month. I feel like that gives me my best like bet on the market because it shows like it's gone through a couple months of cycles in a way, and you could kind of see what's happening. Some of these deals take 3 to 6 months to really close. So I like the 3 and the 6 month are my two ideal ones, and I'll look for anything like above 25%, 50% is like an amazing market, and then same thing with the 6 month, above 75%, above like 100 is like a really good market. So that's a lot of like what I look for. So you could go through and like you would just track all these counties and like go through all these and kind of pick whichever ones are the best, right? So let's see, like let's check Suwannee because I know I've done Suwannee before. I want to see what the numbers are now. Suwannee County.
Do you still send mailers for infill? I know you said you were in Palm Bay. You're working there. Do you still? Is that still your focus as well?
Yeah, we do that as well. It's not our focus, but it's something that we add in just into the mix of things, right? I'm not afraid to do some infill.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's make sure this is on land only. All right, so in land only in Suwannee, we got 212. Oh, this might have actually reset size-wise too. You got to make sure it didn't reset. So we were 5 above. So you got 99, So Swanee's got 99. And then let's get the 136 1 year. It's for sale. Let's go sold. Let's go 1 month. So we got 2, 19, 56, 127, 2, 19, 56, 56.
127.
You got it. All right, cool. And then I'll just take this. Let's just drag this all the way down. So once you like drag this down, you could just drag everything if you wanted. Okay, so we got 2%, 19%, 56. So that's even still light, right? So you could do this. You could track all the counties, super easy spreadsheet, and it takes a little time. It's free. That's what's good about it. So if like you're just breaking into things, this is like a good way to start if you don't have like the money to spend on, picking markets or stuff like that.
Yeah.
What we were doing, we basically tracked like every county in the country manually. So we had somebody in there like all the time rocking this thing, and we were spending like over $2,000 a month just doing that. It was expensive, like just his hours and hours of doing it. And then we realized he messed up on a bunch of markets. So then we were looking at STR rates and we're like, oh wow, this market's really good. Turns out he was wrong. So
Yeah.
which really stinks. So it kind of like we were like, ah crap, what do we do? And that's right when Land Insights came out. So it was like the perfect timing. So yeah, so that's what you could do to get started, and then you could track like what we did is like we would do this one, rename this. This would be Florida, and then we would do like another tab for North Carolina, NC.
Yeah.
And we would just go through and keep doing that, right? Um, and then we would save this for like August, and we go October, November, December, all that stuff. Actually, let me see if I can find it.
Okay. I have a question slash comment, Dennis.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I really like the approach of starting it out by state and then breaking it up into counties, because getting
Mhm.
started, it can be a little overwhelming, like, which specific county should I start, or which, state. So I like how you select the state and then you list all counties.
Yes.
Now, my question is, because as you know before, I
Mhm.
might be overthinking this, but like, let's just say if I'm starting out brand new and I don't
Mhm.
really know where to begin, would you say maybe looking at a heat map, maybe days on market like realtor.com is a good way to kind of start, at least to visually see where transactions are occurring, and then maybe you can kind of go from there? I'm
Mhm.
trying to kind of build like an initial kind of step phase
Yeah.
approach.
People do that. People do a lot of that. Like they'll look at the heat maps and kind of like go to Zillow and look at the for sale, like the solds in the last month, and they'll see which ones
Okay.
have the most, right? Um,
Okay.
the thing is, I would say is like you don't always want to go for the hottest of the hot markets,
Hmm.
because you might be fighting with a lot of people. Like that's the hardest part, right? Like Jeff Moore says, do you go on the theory that higher the SCR rate, the harder it is to acquire properties? And I believe that's true, because if the sell-through rate's super high, it's going to be really difficult to work it, because there's a lot of other people in there. So, like this is what we used to do. This is our old cheat. So we would track every single county like this. We would do state, on market, pending, sold, blah blah blah, and then I would just sort through here like by the 3 month, and I would sort the highest right here, and I would look at the 3 month, and I'd say, okay, Franklin County is super high, Alamance, Caswell, and that kind of helped me break down like the counties that I liked, and I would do that for all the different counties, all the different states, and like here's our old cheat. So we would just keep updating. This is October. We do November, December, all that stuff. And what this does is it takes like the thought process out of it, and you're like, let me just go by the numbers. The numbers say this works. Let's do that, right? And if I'm looking
Yeah.
at this and I'm like, okay, these counties are all super hot. Maybe I'll just go to like the top five, like 5 through 10 counties, and check out these counties, right? And what I would do next is I would take like Robeson County, right? And I would go into here Now, once I know like a general location, then I want to look at the actual land that's selling, right? How do I spell that? Robeson County. Why can't I spell it? Robeson County. So I would go into here and I would So then I would look at this and I'm like, okay, what type of land is actually selling here? And what are the price points we're looking at, right? Are there, are there properties that I want to like actually look at or something like that, right? So I'll do like 5 to 10s. And I'm like, let me see what kind of action's happening here. So you can see there's 5 in the 5 to 10 range that's sold. In the past, like, what is it, a month or whatever? So 6 of them in this county. Okay. So then I look at the properties and all that stuff. And I'll also click a listing. And I want to see how fast it went. So I want to see. So look, May 17th, it was listed. By May 19th, it was already pending. So 2 days, the property went pending. So like when you see that, you're like, oh, damn. Okay, that's probably a pretty hot market. There's probably a lot of demand, right? In 2 days, your property goes under contract. That's crazy. I don't always look at the days on market, see how this is, how big of a disparity this could be. It's because a lot of times this takes a really long time to actually go through. Okay. So there's times where they could be working on something with the probate issue, or they're working on getting another signature or whatever the case may be, which extends the closing date, right? Or maybe they're getting financing. So I don't necessarily look at days on market as much as I look at days depending. So see right here, that's what I'll
the agents forget to close it out, like the listing.
Yeah,
it's sitting in there, in their folder, and they forget to, close it out as sold. So,
yep. Look at this. See, sold public record right here, 5250. So what could happen with this one is they might have double closed it, which most likely that's what happened. So they probably bought it or had it listed May 17th. They double closed it. They bought it for 52, knowing they had a buyer at 70, and bought it, closed it, waited another month until it actually finally, or a couple days, until it finally closed. So,
okay. So you're saying that it's better to look at days to pending more so than days on market.
Yeah, exactly. Like days on market, if you look at something where it's like average days on market is like less than 90, then I'm going to go into that county and I'm going to look at like how many days does it take to go pending for a property. And then it'll give me a better insight. So like right here, February 16th, it was listed and it took all the way till April 25th to go pending. Okay. So there's no data sets. There's nothing I could download from this. This is all manual. You'd have to like kind of track this stuff if you really want to like see if this number works. So what I would do is I would go in here and I would look at a bunch of closings, and I would go in here and I'd look at how many days it would go pending, and I would just make a simple formula. I would just go, 10, like this took 30, it took like 65, 70 days to close. So I would do like 70 plus 2, or 70 comma 2 comma whatever. I'd add them all together, and then I'd divide by how many I added together, and then I would get like my average. And I would look for like an average days depending of 30 or less, right? And that would give me like a good insight on the market, saying like, okay, I know on average over all these closings, they typically close within 30 days, right?
Yeah. So, I have a question for you, Dennis.
Yeah.
Earlier you mentioned, before we got to days to pending, you talked about the sell-through rates being too high. Could you give me an example of like what's a sell-through rate that's too high, and then also like what is your sweet spot per se when you're looking? So I know we don't want to be in really hot areas because that's too competitive. So what is the warm area, and what sweet spot, or what would be considered a decent sell-through rate for that?
Okay, so like let's look at this. So if we're looking at land sales, and it's easier to show you this. Let me look at less than I'll just go no max. Okay, so if we look at this, like look at Florida, it's insane. There's 32,000 properties listed right now in Florida. Now, if I zoom in, just in this area right here, Lee County, look how many are listed. There's 9,700 homes, just land. So like if I listed a property right now in this market, how long would it take me to go to page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Like it'd probably be like instant, right? Because there's always more properties getting listed.
Yeah.
So it's very inefficient to list a property here because you're just getting pounded down. Like that's what you don't want, right? You want to go into a market that's got like a sweet spot of like not too many, like a few listings that to show it has demand, but not too many where you just get pounded into the ground, right? I mean, if you're going hyper local, like zip codes, even this zip code right here, or this small pocket right here, there's still 577 parcels listed. So new 3 hours, new 21 hours, new 27 hours. Like you're going to be on the next page the next day. That's just how it is in this area. So I look for more markets that are like not as, you don't want something that's overly active. One, because you're going to be super competitive, right? So you can see here, like in this area, there's 206, right? This is all size ranges too. So you got to, obviously consider that too. I would say like, I can't give you an exact number because I don't really like giving exacts, but you kind of have to feel the market out. And if you look at the parcels that you're going to be getting, like I don't mess with anything like 10K, 16K, 20K. I don't mess with those. So I'd probably just say, okay, let me check my pricing. Let me check over 75K. Now what are we looking like? Oh, there's only 7 above that price range. So now I know if I bring some properties here, they'll get views because they're above a certain price range.
Okay.
So let's do this.
Say, I don't want to hog all the questions. Akila, do you have any questions before I ask my next one?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So another question, Dennis, as I told you, I'm here in Michigan and I'm thinking about seasonality, right?
Yeah.
Obviously there's not going to be that many transactions that occur in the winter states. Not winter, you know what I'm saying, the cold states.
Yeah.
So when would be a decent time to start considering transitioning to out of that Midwest, Mideast, northern states? Like when should I stop sending mailers to that area just to take in consideration the change in season?
So, I mean, you kind of just have to like know the markets you're going to go into a little bit, like Michigan, all this part right here, anything that gets lake effect, you're going to kind of want to stay on the side of like maybe stop marketing in like November or something like that and pick it back up in probably like March when the weather starts breaking.
Okay.
But then there's the other side of the fact that if you're picking up a good property and you're picking it up at a discount in the winter and then exiting it in the spring, you're probably going to do pretty good because you can buy it cheaper, right? There's less people like in that market necessarily, at that time. So it's not a bad time. Like there's never a bad time to market. It's just maybe change your pricing strategy or things like that. Or no, like I might not sell this deal in 30 days, 60 days. I might sell this deal in 90 days, 200 days, something like that, because it's seasonality. So
got it.
Yeah, that's one thing I would say to expect anywhere like north of like 43 degrees. I would say that's pretty much the same because all these are like the cold states right here. So
yeah.
Okay. But now, so this is like Land Insights, right? So Land Insights is basically doing what I just showed you, but it's already done for you. So like you don't have to think about that. And we could just select like an acreage range size. Like, is there like specific price points you guys are looking at, or is there something specific to help you get started, or not necessarily?
I would anywhere maybe between. Oh, go ahead, Akila.
I was going to guess. I was going to put out just say under 100K, in between maybe like 30 to 100K.
Okay.
See how that takes us.
Okay. So what I noticed a lot, you're going to get a higher response rate on properties below 60K. Okay. So if you're just getting started, mailing those properties, the buy for 20s, sell for 40s, you'll get a way higher response rate, like somewhere in like every 800 to 1200 letters, you'll start seeing a contract, which is nice. So like,
I like that then.
Yeah. It's a pretty sweet spot, right? Okay. You will notice though, like you'll get tired of those deals because those deals tend to be the hardest.
Mm.
I don't know why. It's so weird because like they tend to have a lot of issues. And then you realize like later on, you're like, well, I should just go for properties that are buy for 60, sell for 100. Maybe I'll get a third of the amount of deals, but I only have to deal with one closing instead of three to make the same amount of money. So, but it's a good way to start. So like getting into that 20 to buy for 20, sell for 40 market is going to be a much easier thing to really get started in. So you could set that stuff on here. Like we could look at, our heat map, what we want to look at, like what's the lowest days on market, pending, this and that. So let's do this. Let's do zip codes. So do you still want to stick with Florida, or do you want to pick a Michigan zip code, or do you want to pick out a couple different ones?
Yeah, we can play around with Michigan now.
Okay, cool. And what we'll do is we'll pull some data and we'll pick a few counties or zip codes right now. We'll pull some data. We could do like Michigan and Florida. I recommend when you're kind of getting started, don't like dump all your marketing in one area. I would go like a couple in Michigan, a couple in Florida, a couple in wherever else. Like kind of spread yourself out a little bit because it just gives you a better chance of like having success, right?
Mhm.
All right. So let's say this is Michigan. These are all the hot areas right now. You can see everything in yellow. What we'll do right now, it's on active heat maps. So that means the most listings are up here and like throughout this area. Okay. We could do, you could do median pricing. You could do pretty much whatever you want. Genie. So let's go a 3-month Genie. And then to get a Genie score, you need to go like a specific acreage range. So the lower the Genie number, the more homogeneous it's going to be, which means it's going to be easier to price. All right. So if we look at the 3-month Genie.
Can you tell me what a genie is? Sorry, I don't know what that is.
Sure. Genie is just like how homogeneous the market is, right?
Homogeneous. Okay.
Homogeneous. Yeah. So it's like, is it easy to price and all that stuff, right?
Got
So
it.
basically,
Okay.
a 5-acre in this side of the county trades for 5,000 an acre. A 5-acre for this side of the county trades for 5,000 an acre. It's very much the same. Sometimes you're in markets where it's 20K an acre up here, 2K an acre up here, 6K an acre in the middle. That's not homogeneous. It's tougher to price, right? You have to break that up into a couple different areas.
Okay.
So you want like a lower Genie to get this would be yellow, right? See, the Genie is on this Genie 3-month is 2.7 versus like this purple one up here. The Genie on this one is 39.47. So these yellows are actually going to be easier to price per acre. So we could go like right here, Lake County, Michigan. Or what did you want to go Michigan, you said? Yeah?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so 49304. So that's the zip code we're in. So we'll go here. Okay. So this is the land that's for sale right now. I have that on, so let's take that off. So you got a bunch of parcels listed. Now we'll see like a lot of little guys, 8,000, 11,000, whatever. These type of parcels you want to buy it like for $2,000 and sell it for 10, right? It's a lot of like moving parts to get those little ones done, but you can make money. So let's go sold. Let's see what's actually moving here. And let's say we want to see.
I did have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Since it's already on the market for $10,000, what would you do different if you were to buy it for $2,000 once you were to relist that property?
So I really wouldn't be buying stuff on market.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if it's on market, the only reason why I'd buy it is if it's a subdivision, like something I could chop up and sell, or if it's something like it's terribly listed and I could obviously see that, right? Or there's something inherently wrong with the listing. But if it's on market and your remarketing plan doesn't really change much from what they're already doing, you're gonna have a hard time kind of doing that, right? So now if you have buyers lined up, it's a different story.
Gotcha.
So like this market here, so I put above 30K exit price, which basically means like you would acquire it for 15K or below to make a pretty good spread. There's 11 homes that sold in the last, or 11 properties that sold in the last 3 months. So it's actually not bad to see overall. We could look back on Land Insights and we could check out all like the actual SDRs and stuff like that. So if I go back here, I go back here, I could go sort by Wisconsin, state. Da-da-da. Okay, so lake. Just click this. Four three four four. So you could sort by zip code if you wanted or whatever, or we could go sort by pending. So I could go here. I could just type in Wisconsin county. I could just type in this. I could go lake, apply, and right here I could do it Wisconsin, apply, and then what was that zip code? Lost it. 49304. 49304. Why did it disappear on me? Four nine three oh four apply. Where did it go? There it is. So I can look at what the actual like numbers are here. So it's got a 1 month of 67%, 3 month of 67%, 6 month is 133. Average days on market is 38. All that stuff. So all the info is here. Active is 3. Sold in 1 month is 2. That's why it's kind of like high. Some people look for like an active of 5 or above. I don't necessarily always look at that. I want to look more at this. I want to look at like, okay, if I were to list property on here, let's say this guy right here, this one's got like a little trailer or whatever. How fast did it sell? June 18th went pending in 10 days. That's good enough for me, right? So I'll look at that. I'll look at a few of them and just kind of gauge that from there. So if I see a bunch that are doing the same thing, like they're going pending super quick, then that's probably one that I want to mail to. So 17, this went like 40 days. That's pretty good. And it sold for pretty much what they asked. So that's another good indicator.
Yeah.
And then I'll just keep looking at a couple of these. So, I mean, this looks like a pretty good market to me. It looks like there's activity. There's properties are pretty basic. They're going pending super fast. So 2 days, this one went pending, and it sold for ask, and it closed in less than a month. So I actually think this is a good one. So that's one that we're going to save. So let me do this. That was 49304. 49304. Okay. It was Lake. Let's go here. Let's zoom out. Let's go back to Land Insights. So I like that one. I think that was good. What'd you guys feel about that one?
That was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, I like how they got pending right away. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it seems like they went pending pretty fast, right? That's a good indicator, right? So
yeah. I have a question. So it went pretty fast, which is idealistic, right? But at what point, I'm just thinking about, you're saying a hot market or really high sell-through rate. Should I be alarmed by that? Is that the case here or not at all?
No. So the thing is like, if you look at it, there's not a ton of properties active. So here's like the kind of paradox you're kind of sitting in, right? If you look at this and you're like, okay, it's going pending super fast. Why is it doing that, right? It's probably because there's not enough supply to meet the demand. So it just becomes a
Okay.
supply and demand problem, right? Now you're looking at this, you're like, wow, this is going pending in like 10 days, 15 days. Why aren't there more properties for people to buy, right? It's probably because people aren't selling. So maybe it's a good market that you could come in and become the market maker. Now,
Got
boom,
it.
now you make success your own, right?
Yeah.
Um, so
Versus
look,
if it's more active just sitting there, then obviously it's not really being sold weekly.
exactly.
Okay.
So, yeah. Sorry, my dog is stealing stuff in my office right now. He just stole my bag of dirt from property we just sold. I collect jars of dirt from every property we sell. So I have like a whole
Ah,
I have a
that's
whole
awesome.
I have like a couple boxes I gotta put up. Like I'm waiting to do it, but he likes to steal them and eat dirt from all over the country. All right. So this one was listed active, listed removed, listed went past. I don't know what the heck happened here. So something was weird with this property. Just a bad listing. Let's check this one. Okay. So this went Jan 28th. This took a long time to go pending. Yeah, it took a while. Eight acres. This took November all the way to March. So you could see like this is the seasonality.
Yeah.
When were these listed? They were listed in January, November, and they don't go actually under contract till March when weather starts breaking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you might see that a lot in these types of markets. But it could be a good time to kind of buy, right? So maybe you get stuff for like at 30% of market and then you just sit on it for a couple weeks or a couple months and then list it at 90, 80, 90 or 100% of market. So
Yeah.
this actually doesn't look terrible. It's just a little slow just because of the seasonality.
I see.
Um,
That seems like a good strategy if you're able to hold on to it.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. If you could hold on to it for a little bit, like you're not pressed for time, it's definitely a good strategy. So it looks like this could be a subdivision possible. Let's see. We got August 19th, April 4th. This is a really long time. So this actually looks like a pretty slow county or slow zip. So I probably would avoid that one. Because almost everyone I've looked at was like months that it took.
I was gonna say, how about Kent County? I think that's on the
Kent
west
County,
side of the state. Yeah,
where's that about?
near Grand Rapids area, near Holland, where it's green over there.
Oh, okay.
What is
This
that one? Is
is
that Kent or Ottawa?
Ottawa.
Ottawa. I'm
Okay.
familiar with Ottawa too.
49464. So let's check that out. 49464. 49464. Okay, so inside here we got about 20. And this is the price range. This is still last 6 months. Let's do this. Let's do 5 to 10s. All right, so you got 5. It looks like this is somebody who did like a minor subdivision. Let's see how fast they sold. This is also a good thing to note. Like if you see this, that means it's probably fairly simple. So they listed at March 11th for 240, and they went under contract in May. That's about less than 60 days. It's not terrible. Probably more so that it took a little while to go under contract because there were so many different parcels. Right. So each one of these was probably went live at the same time. So people had ones to pick and choose from. So March 11th, May 15th, about the same. So overall, I mean, it doesn't look terrible. Maybe you could check a little bit lower sizes too. Sometimes it's like good to actually get like the smaller properties. If the market's selling right, like if it's still like something you could buy for like 20K and sell for 40, even if it's 1 acre, why not? Still makes money. So something simple, just cleared land. Sold 2.5 acres. A lot of action. Oh my gosh. November 2022. Relisted, pending, relisted. Wow. That took way too long.
That's a red flag, right? Wouldn't that be like an indicator there might be something wrong with the parcel?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, okay, what
Yeah.
happened here? Something's wrong with this thing. That it kept going active, inactive, active, inactive. That's not a good sign. This they got an offer same day. Wow. Close it a month. Nice clean parcel.
That's really good.
Yeah. That's what we all want.
Right.
Okay, same thing. July 9th went pending right away. So this is actually pretty good to see, right? It might,
Oh, they're next door to each other. Well, no, they're not the same zip code.
yeah, so you got right here. No, they're one's up in the top of the map, one's over here.
Okay.
So sometimes you'll start seeing like trends like north of this highway trades, but south of the highway doesn't trade at all. So you might just pull a list and say, okay, I only want north of the highway, right? And this is like right outside that zip code, but let's see what's happening here, right? So this is right outside of it. Different zip. November 3rd. This is removed. Relisted March 18th and went active and went closed May 3rd. So that's pretty good. We don't know why it was delisted, but let's check this. March 4th, March 11th. So that's good too. Yeah, so this might be a good area to pick as well. 4960 and 4964. They're not too bad. Let's see what let's come up with this one. 4964, 4964, 4960. So it doesn't really have a good 6-month sell-through rate, probably because not a lot of activity, but you might be able to be the market maker if there's nothing going on. So you got 492240, 492. So again, 49240.
49. Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, 49240. All right. 850. 7K an acre, 117 acres. See how fast. Bigger parcel. Took a long time. Look at that. Almost 2 years to actually close. It's crazy. That's probably because they're going to do like a major on that. So it took a really long time to go through it. Jan 8th, Jan 12th, 4 days. In the winter too. 4 days in the winter, and it's still went pending quick. So that's good. That's a good sign. May 17th, yeah. This one's actually nice. I actually, so far, I like this county. The zip. This was 49240.
49240. Okay.
49240. That is county area.
I have a question. Not that it really makes a difference, but I'm just asking about your preference. Do you prefer going based on zip code or county? Like, what's easier for you as you go through it, Dennis?
Does
it matter?
It's totally dependent on your marketing budget. When you go through zip code, you're much more like you're easier to get your pricing right because your zip code is going to be more local, right? So if you're just getting started, being like kind of sniperish does help a lot.
Yeah.
It just you have to pick more zip codes to be successful, right? Instead of just saying, "Oh, let me just pick one county and mail it." But at the end of the day, like there might only be some pockets that are actually moving in that zip code or whatever the case may be, or that county in general. So you almost might be better to pick zip codes and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I like that because I will, probably be starting more from a sniper approach as you stated. So, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Let's check this out. This is Florida, Pasco County, 33540. If you guys are okay with going a little longer, I'll pull some data too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. All right. So you got a couple. I mean, these are some bigger deals, but let's see what they're moving like. So 53K an acre, and it looks like went pending in pretty good time, like 6 to 50 days. It's pretty good.
That is good.
Yeah. September 20th. This took a little while for Florida. There's not like, see right here, there's not like a lot of activity in this.
Mhm.
There's some stuff, but not like a ton. And it's right at the good indicator is right outside of town. So like more people are going to buy land out there because they could just go to it for the weekend. It's pretty close, you know. December 15th, it went changed.
Oh, they increased it. Oh, they decreased. Then increased.
They dropped it and then changed it back up, and then they ultimately sold for what they changed it to. That's funny. They sold for 300. Huh. I went pending right after it.
Hey. It took a while to sell, but not bad.
Yeah. I also look at this too. Sometimes it's not necessarily that it may have taken a long time to sell. It's just that they were priced at the wrong price. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I look at when they got the price right, how long did it take to go pending after they got the price right?
7 days.
Yeah, 7 days. So
I did in December, but I guess because that was the holidays.
Holidays, there's always issues. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is very common too to see this during the holidays where stuff doesn't move. So.
And so I guess when you sign a contract, you get something in a contract, I guess, closer to the end of the year, you do a longer due diligence, or you ask for longer due diligence and closing time normally?
Yeah, I always set that up and say, hey, a lot of people take off and stuff like that. So in my contract, I'll put like 90 business days. And that buys you a hell of a lot of time because gain 2 days every week, you know?
Gotcha.
Normally contracts are going expired. So that's
and when you do your due diligence normally 90 days, and how long do you normally ask to close after? 30 days maybe after due diligence ends?
So our closing date, we just set the ASAP. We don't ever put a closing date on our contract. And we just have a 90-day inspection period with 2 30-day extensions. So we could extend it for a really long time, like 160 days.
Yeah.
We basically say like until paperwork's ready. And my thing I always tell people is like, look, we do that because land, sometimes there's complexities, the waves inherited, things like that. I don't want to come back to you and have you sign another contract every 30 days because it's going to expire because title's taking a long time.
Right.
So I'd rather just have you sign one contract. It's in there. As soon as we get everything back, we'll close. Right. Whether I'm doing a double close or like a regular contract.
I have a question. I was going to ask, like, how does that work, right? Because, you know, when we're initially sending mail, you know, the whole point of us buyers, I should say, is, you know, cash offer, fast closing. You know, some people even say 30-day close. But are you saying, like, with yours, you would say 90 typically to buy you some time and space? Or
if it depends on the deal. Like, if it's a really good deal, we'll buy it fast, right? If it's like a no-brainer deal and title comes back quick, super straightforward, we're buying it. Thing is, sometimes these deals, they're not fast. They're not easy. There's a lot of things that happen, right? So I kind of just explained that, like, I want to make sure we're in a sweet spot, that we're not like chasing our tails, trying to figure something out and getting a new contract signed, and then you ghost, and then we have to stop work, and then we have to restart. Once you sign, like, I don't want to deal with all that. I have everything built into this one contract that allows me to extend. It's just how I do my thing. And nobody really questions that, honestly. It's very far and few between. There's some people that I've actually noticed are a super red flag. If they're like very amped to close right away, I like that's a red flag to me. And they're like, something's wrong with this property, or something's wrong here in general. What is it? Right. So I do look at that as well. This is
sold that property. The original owner who sold it made a pretty good profit.
Yeah, 230K. Dang. Yeah. So Jeff took quick close out of my marketing. So another good thing to say, like, and I talk about this a lot, when you focus on your value, what value are you providing to your sellers? It's not necessarily it's that you're providing a quick close. It's that you're providing a guaranteed number, right? So by gearing it more towards like, hey, I'm the guarantee. Like, if I tell you I'm buying it for 180,000, and we go through everything, everything looks good, we've done our due diligence, we buy it for 180,000 guaranteed. If you go with a realtor or you go with anybody else, you're listing it for 300 or three whatever, but now it doesn't appraise. Now they got to come down. Now you got to pay realtor fees. Now you got to pay this fee, that fee. That's not a guaranteed price. Mine's everything baked in. Boom, here's your 180, you're done, you walk away. Right? Maybe you could go to a realtor and get a little bit more, but it's not guaranteed. That's all. So I kind of express that more so than going with the fast closing, fast this, fast that.
I see. Yeah, thanks for explaining that. That's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. All right, so this is actually a pretty cool market. Florida, it's right outside. So you can see Wauchula. So it's right outside. This is like the Royal Rec like playground, right? It's far enough away from a major city that people could get out here and like hang out, but it's close enough that people still buy there. So Hardy County, Florida, right here. You got we got a pretty good median price. We got really low Gini. Now the STRs are decent. They're a little slow, but we look at this. There's a bunch of properties sold in 6 months, and I'm looking at how fast they sold. This is a $260,000 property, and it sold in like a couple days. So that's a great indicator that there's like demand out here. So you got June 11th, 7 days, 6 days, 7 days, went under contract, closed August 6th, right?
That's really good.
Yeah, that's really good. That's what you want to see. Like if you're seeing that, you're like, oh damn, okay, something good's happening over here, right?
Yeah.
April 14th, price change. April 19th went contingent. They actually raised the price.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I like this one. So 33873. All right, cool. So let's do this. Let's pull this data. 33873. County FL. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go to Land Vision. So I'll pull it here. Now we could send it through scrubbing real quick too. Once I pull it. 49304.
Speaking of scrubbing, I'm curious, can you talk more about that component with Land Insights?
Yeah, so we'll go through it. What it does is basically it takes out all like the properties that you don't really want to mail, right? So 304. So if you like, okay, so if you're looking at this, you're like, okay, this area is nice, except like there's a lot of landlocked properties, things like that. It'll just kind of eliminate them, which is nice because now you're only mailing the good properties. So
yeah,
we talk about that a lot. Like it's awesome. You could do this manually if you wanted, and I could actually show you like how I manually do mine. Still, just because like we're not necessarily just scrubbing for the bad. We're trying to categorize every parcel, and I categorize everything in like 20 different ways, right? Land ID Land Insights, what it does is it'll categorize in like 5 different ways, right? Which is still great. It eliminates a lot of the bad properties, but I like to go a little further. So I'm doing a very manual operation, like Anthony Reese did too, and like that's kind of I did a video with him a little while ago, and we talked about that. Either way works, right? It's just the good thing is that getting rid of some of those properties does help you overall with your KPIs. All right, so let's include this area. So we're going to click the zip. We're going to search area right here. Okay. All right, so we're going to go type of land use, and I'm going to go, I just want vacant land. I want vacant rec, vacant res. That's it. Characteristics. I'm going to just pull everything above 1 acre for you guys. So let's see, greater than. All right, it's loading. So it looks like we got a bunch. Let me add this all to a list. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna export this, and I'm gonna send this through scrubbing. Export to CSV, and then we'll pull the next ones. Land and sites.
So you didn't filter any like ownership information. Someone purchased. Okay. You do you
No,
ever?
I mean, you could go through it. The thing is when I pull that sheet, all that data is going to be there. If you
Okay.
want to sort it and say like they bought it in this time and that time, whatever the case may be, you could do that.
Gotcha.
But I'm just giving you a whole bunch of data and then allowing you to kind of do your thing.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
You could sort through it later and see what it recently sold for, all that stuff.
And when you send out your mailers, do you sort it like, let's say someone or owners who purchased their properties 5 years, before like 2020 or something like that?
I don't.
You know,
I don't.
you just
You don't know what happened, what's going on with their whatever.
That's
what's that? 200. Cool. So let's run this, start scrubbing. Okay. That's scrubbing for you. While we're doing that, let's go to our next county. So we said we're going to go this one right here. Let's take this one off. Filter. Oops. I almost gave you everything. I forgot to just select the county. Okay, so let's add to list. So I'll clear this list. Close list. Now start adding this. It's got 386. Now these are going to be pretty homogeneous, so pricing these are going to be pretty easy. I'll let you guys kind of do it, and then if you have any questions, like just ask me. I've done a bunch of like pricing Zooms and videos and stuff like that. You could always just watch them. Just in the interest of time, we'll let you just kind of do it. All right, so that's done. So starting to scrubs. You can see, open. Yep. Next. I mapped columns correctly. Next. Calculating price. Okay, start scrubbing. Cool. All right, and then the last one we were doing. Let's take that out, add this in. Close list. Search area. Okay. Let's see how many we got here. Probably going to be a ton in this area. Florida's notorious for that. Why is it doing that? Vacant. Land characteristics. Take that off. I find it hard to believe there's no land in here. Okay, land use. Vacant land. Must be something with land use. Vacant miscellaneous. Let's try that. Yeah. Okay. So vacant. Let's just go Vacant. All right. Characteristics. Take that. Okay. Wow. Something's up with this. Doesn't seem like a lot at all. Only 381 parcels. Interesting. Yeah, 423. Okay. Looks like that's all we got. So more than likely, like you'll probably only mail like 200 parcels here.
Okay.
It'll just be like you'll probably scrub out a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
So like all this list together, you'll probably have like 1,500 to kind of go through. So it shouldn't be too hard. Linford. So Linford asks, how long does it take for mail to season and start getting interested sellers? Mail hits the door, and the next day we're getting calls. It's pretty consistent. And then it takes, I don't know, I still get calls for like 9 to 10 weeks after the fact. So yeah, something must be up with that vision. Doesn't want to do this. Let's go property search, advanced. Okay. Search area. Okay, land use. Characteristics. Greater than 1. Okay, why? Okay. Yeah, something was wrong there. So export to CSV. Okay, now we're going to go back here. Start the scrub. 9, open. Okay, cool. Start scrubbing. All right, so view and download. Entire data set. Line scrubbing. View and download. Entire data set. So it's almost done. All right, so that was like total of between data and scrubbing. It's like $500 between everything.
Okay.
So I'll give you guys all that. So what I'll do is on the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. You're not paying for this. So I'll give you everything. So basically what I did is I went through everything. When you get these lists, I'll open one up real quick and I'll just show you kind of what it looks like. So here, sheet, file, let's go, file, I'll go import, upload, browse, scrub, take all these, do 7 first, upload. Okay, so on here, you're going to have landlocked, no, yes. See if it's a yes, you're going to take it out. How much flood zone? So this is yes, flood zone, yes, landlocked. So you take that out. Bad topography, all that stuff. So it's unknown, right? Here's your APNs. Here's all your information here. Now scrolling through here, you could kind of like go through this. Your builds, if that anything has like a house on it, tells you like a little bit more information, like price per acre, all that stuff. Prior market sale. So this is not in like an actual thing. I don't know why it does this, but it comes out like 2023 05, meaning May 30th. So they just sold this. This was last sold May 30th, 2023. So like if you wanted to scrub that stuff out, you can. I don't really do that because you don't know what's going on with people's conditions. They may be just something must just happened, whatever the case may be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine all these sheets. I'm going to put all the data in here. Upload, browse, and I'll share this with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, when it comes to topography, would that be like related to slopes?
Yeah.
And things like that? Okay.
Yeah, and what we kind of picked, the areas we just picked, it's not really something you have to worry about. That's more of like worrying about like North Carolina mountains and this and that, like all that stuff. That's what you kind of have to worry about, those areas. For this stuff, it's super easy. Like you don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
Florida's more about like wetlands and all that jazz. That's the more important stuff. Cool. All right, cool. So I will share that with you. And I'll make sure I can do this. So, editor. Cool. Got your link here. Let me drop it over here. Private. It's in the private chat section of the StreamYard right there. You'll see it. That's all your data. So take that, go price it. Let me know what you come back out as, and let me know if there's any like questions or anything you got with that, and we'll try to go through everything. Hopefully it kind of helped you pick some markets. Like you could just keep doing that. Like keep looking for some good zip codes and stuff like that. You could pick by the county, like we showed the STR thing. You could do like a map like that. And then once you pick the county, you could go into like the zip codes and check the different zip codes and see the activity in them. And then, we could pull your data and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think out of that package, you'll probably get at least one deal. So I think at least maybe two, depending on how good they are. So I think you'll get at least one or two deals, as long as you price it right. I would probably price that around like 50% of market and just see what happens. So
sounds good. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Any other questions while you got me?
No, not at this. For me, I don't have anything.
Okay.
No, but I know where to find you though.
Yes.
So I want to show you guys too a little giveaway that I'm going to do right now. So I have I'm working on something really awesome for Leah members. And it's going to be this like insane book in a way. So let me download this. And then I will drop it in the comments for anybody that's still here. So what I have is I'm creating like a whole book of like infographics for sales and acquisitions and different types of things inside the land business to make your job easier. So let me open this baby up. Cool. Okay, cool. So this is a little something I've been working on. So this is an infographic, effective negotiation tips for land acquisitions. So basically it just gives you a bunch of little tips to use when working with sellers and like different little strategies. And what I did is I actually did some objection handling based on a couple different people. So this is Chris Voss's kind of responses. If you don't know who Chris Voss is, he was actually a hostage negotiator, and now he's a sales trainer. So you got Chris Voss, you got Sandler, which is my favorite type of method. So when people, have any kind of like hesitation for selling, stuff like this, like it sounds like the software isn't quite what you're hoping for. Maybe this isn't the right time to sell, right? That kind of gets them. If you look here, it says this prompts the seller to clarify their true concerns, even defend the offer, bringing the conversation back on track, right? So when people are like, this property, you offer me so low, whatever, you could say something like that, and that'll help guide the conversation back into the right track, right? So this is a great little thing to have on your, on like your desktop or whatever. So whenever you're working, you can just like pop it open and look at it. So I'm working on, I have 63 pages like this so far, all different types of tactics, all different types of rejections and everything like that. So I'm going to be giving that away to everybody eventually. I'll give out little pieces and stuff like that. So yeah, let me try to see if I could share this with everybody. But yeah, I'll drop that in the comments now, and then you guys will get it. I'll make sure you guys get it too. So let me see this.
Yeah, that's super neat. It'll definitely be helpful for sure.
Yeah, I hope it is.
Script, if you need some help when you're speaking to a seller, so that is nice. Because I
Yeah.
normally speak to sellers, so that's going to be something different for me. So,
Who's mostly doing the acquisitions for you guys?
well, so I mainly focus on market, so I let the agent handle everything. So,
Okay.
It's easier for me to speak directly to the agent. And I normally text them before anything. And then if they need to talk over the phone, then we'll talk on the phone. But
Cool. Okay. So for this, you're going to have to talk to sellers a lot.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit different. It's not hard. It's just different, right?
Right.
That's the whole thing.
I was going to say, I'm in the middle of reading Sandler's book. That's the
Okay.
one with Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike. Is it that
Yep.
one?
It's a great book.
Yep,
I love that book.
I just started that one. And then I read Chris Voss's book already. So
Oh, good.
really
Okay,
good tips in there.
Awesome. Yeah, I absolutely love, like, both of them are really like great books to read. Those two alone, if you could just read those two books, you're good. Anyone think? All right, cool. So I'm gonna drop that in the comments right here, so you guys can have that. And also, did you get the other link I sent you?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So take those two links. So you guys should be able to see that. And cool. Keep me posted. Let me know how it goes. You know where to find me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I just
Glad to have you guys here.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much.
If you guys want to do this again, just grab on my Calendly link. You can pick another date and we can hop back on. We can do more pricing or whatever you want to do.
Okay. Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you, girls. Have a good one.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. Take care.
Talk soon. Bye now.